obsessed with the Connie Fife Show. It's about a lifestyle shift to move up or out.
Hey, what's your jam? What's the one thing that really drives you? What makes you unstoppable?
It's about opening a new door to live your dream.
People give up way too early on their dreams.
It's about enjoying the journey. It's about keeping it real.
Damn, now the interviewee is interviewing the interviewer. I like this.
It's all about you.
I knew there was something else I wanted to do. Stop taking shit so seriously. Y'all can do this. Take an outrageous look at life and laugh.
This is the Connie Fife Show.
We love your voice. We love your jam. You need to be on radio.
And now your host, Connie Fife.
Well, hi, everyone. It's Connie Fife, and we're back with another episode of the Connie Fife Show. And I just want to thank everyone for being here, for coming back. And these last, oh my gosh, how long has it been? 6 weeks? Or for some people, it's probably going on 2 months, just really hanging in there, going through the pandemic. And I know for us, I mean, we've really dove in and we're updating our website. We're in the second iteration of updating the website for Talent Concierge. We're also updating the website for Connie Fife and the Connie Fife Show and all of our course programs. And we had this full conversation, strategy conversation over the weekend with our team. And I actually sat there and started laughing because we were talking about Connie Fife because Connie Fife is the brand, Connie Fife is the program. And I started talking about myself as a third person. I'm like, okay. I started laughing. I'm like, wait a minute. Who am I talking about? It's like, Connie Fife is the third person. It was like I'm talking about myself. It was just pretty funny. But we finally came up with everything that we do is, we talk about being unstoppable or unstoppable together and, in our branding and our trademarks. And it's all about going beyond. And so that's what we're here to do. And we're here to help you go beyond. And that's exactly what our guest does for today. And let me just tell you a little bit about her. I'm going to be talking about being the leader of your own life. And our guest is a leadership and entrepreneurial coach, professional services consultant, personal wellness mentor, and she's the founder and CEO of the global professional services company, Belapemo. I love that name. And she has over 30 years experience in operational excellence, change management, culture transformation, and business consulting. She has inspired thousands of individuals, including Fortune 500 executives, government agencies, nonprofit organizations, athletes, and veterans. So now get this. She's a respected executive and leadership coach, in particular encouraging leadership capabilities of women in business. And we love that. And working with women and helping them achieve things in the workplace, at home, and in the wider community. And she has been featured alongside luminaries such as Oprah, Melinda Gates, Ginni Rometty in the 2019 publication of America's Leading Ladies. So welcome to the Connie Fife Show, Laleh Hancock. How
Thank you so
are
much,
you?
Connie? I'm so glad to be here.
I mean, you've just done some amazing, amazing things. I mean, I was out, I like to say I go stalking all of my guests to find out more about you and in what you do. And some of the work that you've done has just been incredible. And 30 years, some of our journey, our path, our timeline has kind of been the same in some of the work that we've done. So how did you get featured, alongside folks like Oprah and Melinda Gates? Some of those folks, I was looking at that publication of America's Leading Ladies, and I was just like, wow, this honor to have you here on our show.
Well, thank you so much. And I'm honored to be in this book.
Yes.
I mean, when I got the phone call, it was one of those magical moments where, like you've been asking a lot of questions for different things to show up in your life. And you're like, okay, what's next in my journey? And I got the phone call. And actually, I've been in a couple of other books, like with Steve Jobs and Deepak Chopra and Susie Orman and others. And that was America's Leaders and Legends. So that's kind of what started a few years ago.
Okay.
And then kind of led into this one. And this one's a little more special. It's really bringing 50 women from America who really are doing leadership different and looking at leadership, not just like, I've got the answer, but looking at there is never a problem where we cannot be leaders. And for my particular aim was really about you being the leader of your life for now and the future, because we have to include the future in how we're creating things today.
I mean, definitely. And things, just recently, just got shaken up. Everything just got turned upside down. And I've talked to some people that have stepped back because they're living in a place of fear, but others that have really taken hold of their life and said, I need to take control of my life. I need to take control of my future, because whether they have their own business or whether they've been working for an organization, they may have lost their job. So they have to step up. They have to take control of their life. They have to take control of their future. So the message that you've been putting out there for years is exactly what they need to be doing and be taking a look at right now.
Yeah, it's really interesting how the timing of when this book came out was last year. And towards the end of the year, or I can't recall, but towards the end of the year. And I've been talking, I've been sharing this at least the last 4 or 5 months. And I was just amazed that it really was preparing us for being leaders today. Yeah. I work with executives who've been leaders like pretty much their whole entire life. And I was shocked to watch how many of them through this quarantine time were quarantined. Were putting their voice in quarantine. They were putting their leadership in quarantine as well, kind of sitting back and hoping that the government or someone else is going to tell them what to do.
Right.
That's not what this is about. Yes, there's going to be some direction that we're going to get from our leaders within the government, but you have to be that leader.
Right. And if you're running an organization, your people are looking to you for that direction.
Yeah. And, so many people are also firing people and laying off and doing things. Like there's a lot that's happening based on what you described. The people that are standing back and going into the fear of it, and the people that are like, okay, there's some unknown components here.
Right.
And the future, it doesn't look anything like yesterday.
No.
So what is now required? What do we need to put in place today? Like, how do we use this new white canvas of what the future looks like to our advantage, really?
Yeah, right. To our advantage. If you take a look back, take a look back at 9/11, take a look back at 07, 08, 2010. People were fearful, 2010, we were going to have this mass explosion, this mass exodus. All of the new business that came out of that.
Oh, yeah.
And everything that fell to the wayside, because there was change, Uber came out of that. Airbnb came out of that. So many new businesses came out of that. So right now it's opportunity. I'm always of the mindset of the glass is half full. What can we do with this? How can we look at this differently? And so I'm always hungry for more information and how could we look at things differently? And that's what we've been doing, is looking at the business, our business, and saying, okay, where can we look at things? How can we sharpen our pencil? And how can we, again, look at things differently? And like I said, a couple of weeks ago, we looked at our label and said, okay, how are we tightening things up? And then now we looked at all of our other products and what we have. And again, tightening all of that up. And it led us to taking all of what we had and funneling that all up to create one solid product. And so that's where we're at with that. So really, it's not the time to take a back seat. So with all of the work that you've done and what I've been reading, how do you help someone? How do you really instill in them to make them a priority through all of this, through everything that's happening?
Yeah. Well, it takes the initiative of the person as well.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? Something has to change in my life. Something has to change in my careers. Because see, if you're there to give people information when they're not ready to receive it, it's just going to go in one ear and out the other. Mm-hmm. But when you're looking at your life, and that's the magic of right now, this is the moment for us to actually ask questions. Okay, what's working in my life? Even the things that are working, how can I make them even greater? How can I make them even better? And then even the business, like you said, I think there's a difference. I'm watching people go into like two pieces. They're either saying, okay, this is a time that we cut. We're going to remove things. We're going to make it, there's not a lot. So they go into the scarcity of it. Okay. That is unfortunately usually where you kill your business, but that's kind of where I see it. And then there's the other side that's like, you know what? Okay, we can panic. That's one of our options. But instead, what can we create here? How can we take these lemons and make lemonade out of it?
Yeah.
Really, this is your opportunity. But the new world where it's different is that we were on autopilot. Many people were robots. They were like, I have to go to work. I go to work. I do this. This is my job as a leader. This is my job as an employee. This is my job. And then they would kind of re-rotate that through every day, even if their bodies got sick or whatever. It was this autopilot. I don't know how else to say it. You cannot live in autopilot anymore.
No, that's a great analogy.
The new world's going to ask you every 10 seconds, you get to choose something different. So, okay, now what? Now what's available to me? Now, what would I like? My one of my most favorite questions is I tell people, hey, sit down in front of your computer, in front of a pen and paper, whichever style you love. Have something you enjoy. Is it your coffee that brings you joy? Is it your water? Is it your juice? Whatever. Have that. Get your body joyful. And then start asking, what would I like to add to my life?
Nice.
Okay. And start looking not just today, but if you look at, in the next 5 years, most of us have no clue what 5 years from now will look like.
Right.
So we get out of our head and into our knowing and to more of what feels good? What's that energy that actually lights us up, that gets us excited? And this coronavirus is getting people to start looking at things that they used to just say, that's just a hobby. I just do that on the weekend, to now, wow, that brings me joy.
Right.
That would be fun to actually create a business around this.
Right. What do you think? What do you think's going to happen? We talked about all of the businesses, the entrepreneurial businesses that came out of tragics that happened before. How many more do you think are going to come out of this business? I remember a study that I read before. It said something like by 2020, 60% of businesses today were going to be entrepreneurial.
You're going to have even more 12-year-olds and 16-year-olds and 19-year-olds who are creating. Well, I'm talking to them. I have a whole program, Leaders of Tomorrow, but it's not just about the youth. It's from 8 to 100. Okay. We bring CEOs, we bring kids, we bring moms, we bring different people from different lines of work. And then together they get to create together. It's magic to watch. And do you know, during the whole .com crash and all the things that happened around that time period of 2008, 2009, 2007, there were more small businesses that were women-owned that carried the economy forward. And the others were the 12-year-olds starting businesses.
Yes.
So the 12-year-olds and the women, small businesses, were
the ones that started
the next world. So I've been just so excited talking to 19-year-old, just different people who are I am not waiting for my parents to choose. I'm taking your program. Like I end up offering it for free for kids who are, under 15 and half price for 16 and 17. And some of them I've been just waiving it because their enthusiasm is what's required.
Yes.
They're in it. They're in it. And I have one young lady, she started her business. She has 3 different services that she offers so far. And she's magic. She is just engaged. She's out there. She's just bringing in different revenue streams. It's beautiful to watch.
And I love working with that age group. Like even for us, we've hired people since all of this pandemic is going on. And I'm still looking to hire. And I hire those either in college or coming out of college because they're hungry. And of course, we're in the entertainment industry and the meetings industry. So that, that's fun. And they see that. And I love bringing them in because they're just so hungry and they want to do it. And I set them up as if it's their own business and how they're running it. So I love that. I really love that because they are. And I see so many of these young kids. And when I see these kids on the internet, like, the next, millionaire, and like, it's like, they're 12. And I'm like, 12? And they're doing something more than just having a lemonade stand.
Oh, these kids are brilliant in their strategies, not the way like we used to do it.
Right. They're just like we used to do it. Oh, I can't believe some of these things and the things that they come up with, and they're everyday products.
Yeah. And what I love is they're looking also at the future of what's required. Like I'll give you an example. There's a young man in New Jersey. He started this idea when he was 15 or 16 years old. His family's from India, but he lives in New Jersey. And when he went to India, he realized that there's so much pollution in the water. Like they throw cell phones, laptop, they throw a lot of technical things into the water system. Okay. And he was very concerned to the population of the water there. And so he started to look at different ideas and partnered with a laboratory in New Jersey that ended up giving him everything for free just for his idea. Yeah. And he said, I don't want my idea to go away. For someone big company to come and buy me so that this cannot come out. He created an open source system that takes the water and takes the metal out of the water. And at the age of 17 got awarded, I don't remember, this was a couple years ago, like this amazing award, like humanitarian award.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah. And it was magic. But his thoughts were, there's a problem. And what can I contribute to a different possibility?
Yes.
And it wasn't just, hey, how much money can I make? Which he also made money, but it was that I can make money and also make it so this is available for others to add to their products as an open source. And so it was like, that's really what commerce is about, is like, when you're being a benevolent capitalism, that's what you're thinking. It's not just about you not making money, but it's like, what can you create that includes everybody, whether it's going to be the employees, the customers, Earth. And that's the magic. I think that this generation also looks at, hey, are we harming the Earth?
They do. They're very much into the Earth and preserving the Earth and preserving the future. Absolutely. And nurturing themselves. And nurturing their bodies. That's a big one. And that's something that you also talk about as well in your program, about nurturing your body.
Well, I don't know how to explain it, but most of us, especially now in quarantine, we're in front of our laptops. We're in front of the camera.
Yes.
More than personally, like I've been doing a lot of things that are like all day events. And so your body is probably crying and singing and yelling all at once.
I know mine is. Because I know mine is.
We really have to factor our bodies. Our body wakes up in the morning with us. Our body is not just something that we drag along. It's actually a contribution to everything in our lives. Right. And we have to include ways to nurture and see and start listening. Like your body tells you whispers until you're no longer listening, and then does it in sharp pains.
Yes, I've had those aches.
Yeah.
The Connie Five Show is heard everywhere. You can find The Connie Five Show on most of your favorite networks. It's time to now recognize and thank our major networks for all of their support. In the house, we have Conscious Business Radio, C-Suite Radio, Transformation Radio, iHeartRadio. We are also heard on Google Play, Apple, Radio, Stitcher, and so many more that I just can't keep up with them all. I'm Connie Fife, your unstoppable diva. Learn more about our gym and how we can work together at my fancy schwanky website, ConnieFifeShow.com. I'll see you over there. Until then, like, share. Now back to the show.
So, like, even with your eyes, like, even, eye doctors, all optometrists and all those will always say to you, hey, after a certain period of time, start looking elsewhere, walk away from your computer, give a break to your eyes. But it's the same thing. It's not just your eyes. It's your body. It's your full body. Your bodies need movement, and you don't have to exercise if you don't want, but even go up and down your stairs if you can't go outside. Walk around the room. I was telling you I got quarantined in Portugal, and my amazing hotel closed, but luckily they had a residence, part of the hotel, and they brought us here. And I'm on a double decker. So I have, my bedroom downstairs and then living room upstairs and the kitchen upstairs. So like I'm using the stairs.
Okay.
As means of that. And then luckily I do get to go outside with the trees. So, like the other day, my back was like, help me. So I went and laid against a tree and then felt amazing 5 minutes later,
Right. Mm-hmm. I know you do. You do. I know. Well, I always blame my dogs, and they have me on a schedule. Get outside. I got to go outside.
I love dogs. They bring us to consciousness. They
do.
Yeah.
And they don't stop until you take them outside.
But they're patient with us. They let us usually sleep a little longer.
Well, no, we have a puppy.
Oh yeah, okay, that's a different thing. We have
a 2-pound toy poodle, and I call her Monster because she's a terror. I think she thinks she's a Great Dane.
Oh my God, that's so cute though. A 2-pounder. Oh, it's so cute.
But she pounces on you, and then we have a 4-pounder. They're both toy poodles, and she like body slams you.
Well, I think that's the day you haven't exercised enough or your body hasn't moved enough and your dog wants to make sure you have movement.
We laugh at her because she just thinks how she does. She thinks my daughter has pit bulls, and I tell her, and her pit bulls are so gentle. I said, Maddie's her name. I said, Maddie'd probably take your pit bulls down. I'm telling you.
But do you get, they also add laughter. I mean,
yes.
In their body, it's not just that. Like, it's a lot of times people look at wellness as, what am I eating? Yes, that's one factor.
That is one factor, right?
There's so much to the wellness of you, and all of you, including your body. And laughter truly is one of the best medicine. It gets you to stop thinking and become more creative.
Yes.
It massages your internal organs.
Yes.
So watch a funny video. There's so many.
Oh, yes.
We talked about what got created. There's so many more memes. There's so many more funny videos that have been created.
Oh, there is. I mean, you just sit and laugh. I mean, there's so many funny things out there right now. You just sit and laugh. But what about again, everybody's concerned. The biggest concern right now is the financial crisis. I mean, even before this, and everybody going into being an entrepreneur, how do we cultivate that financial wellness in all that we do?
Us inherit our financial knowledge from our family. Okay. So whatever your dad's viewpoints were, or your mom or your grandfather or somebody who is significant in your life, we tend to mimic their world and their way of functioning. So, they might tell you, oh my God, money is going to run out, or all these other things. But if most of us actually look in our lives, the moments when we had joy, when we were happy, did we even think about money?
Right.
Or was that money just kept showing up in your pocket and other places you were happy, you know? And so one of the things I'm personally concerned with what's happening with this whole corona, because I talk a lot about wellness in my global wellness for all business. I have 2 businesses, is that to keep your immune system healthy, focusing on the negative and what's not working brings more of that into your body. Okay. Yes. So you're a magnet. If you think happy thoughts, happier thoughts come to you. You know, like you notice, like you attract more of that kind of like-mindedness. Okay. Right. But the same thing, if you're just focused on the problem and what's not working, you have more bills that show up, more of those kinds of problems that magnetically come to you. So if we look at the world, truly, we live in an abundant world. Yeah. We don't live in a world of lack. We create the lack. It's really an invention that's out there from the points of views that we buy. So if you sit and you're like, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills, you're going to be the magic magician who will never pay your bills. Okay. Right. But if you're like, okay, this is where I am, I really need to know. The number one thing is you have to have financial awareness. How much are your bills? Most people have no clue.
I know.
You need to know exactly your water bill, your insurances, everything you pay once a year. You have to divide them into 12 months. You need to know how much money is coming in, and you need to know how much money is going out.
Right.
Once you know, I invite you to be grateful. Because when you're grateful, your energetic harmony is like your frequency is higher.
Yes.
And gratitude actually will bring you more money. It's crazy, but it's these frequencies. And so when you're like, you know what, I'm so grateful for my gardener, like as you write that check to the gardener or however you pay your gardener, because like when you have gratitude for them, there are these other ways money comes into these revenue streams. It just comes in. Now, if you're worried about the bill that just came in, notice that another bill comes in.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to ask you, you know how much money is coming in, how much is going out. Do not ask for that kind of money because that's too little. Right. Look at what else you'd like to add to your life and living. Like start being proactive. Is there some education? Is there some curriculums? Is there some programs? Is there some training? Do I want to become a chef? Like start looking at what are other things you can add to your life that also expand your skills. It makes your heart feel good that you actually want to do something else. Okay. Add that in there. Add travel. Right now, most people are like, I'm not traveling for a while, but start adding your vacations and your travel in there. Because when we have something to look forward to, right, we actually will generate and create more money. Okay. And plus that kind of lifts your heart to be a little bit happier too. Yes. You know? So what are things in the next 12 months you'd like to have in your life? And then that's the number you look at. And then I always say, add like another 10 to 20%, because who you are today and what you need financially today will not be there in the next year. You know, you're going to need more. Right. So, and then you have this information, and then you really need to start asking, okay, what do I need to add to the business? What do I need to add? Oh, you want to do this for your business too. What do I need to add to my life so that I actually have the money to pay for these items? But more, this and more. Okay. Yeah. And then you'd be surprised. These other ideas are going to come. Maybe you have a new service that gets created, a new product that gets created, or, you know, you have these other ways money will show up. And then every cent that comes into your life, put 10% away as honoring of you. Right. You know? And so when you do that, that whole honor system gets you to start thinking that money is not a lack either. You start to accumulate money, and money accumulates more money. So the 10% account, and you know, I used to, when I first started my Belapemo business was like 11, 12 years ago, the first thing I would do is like 10% would go to charity. And then pay bills, and then I would pay me, which was really funny. I still like made money, but it was like everybody else was always more important, right? This whole being the leader of your life, you know, I realized 8 years ago through some tools of access consciousness, no, actually what you want to do is
pay yourself first.
Honor
yourself first. Yes.
Okay. And then add those things. And it is every single one. Like when there's generosity of spirit, and you don't have to do it just with money. It could be you smiled at someone. That's generosity of spirit. When there's generosity of spirit, you invite other kindness, generosity. Money just keeps showing up in a lot of different ways.
Right.
But when you start to look at this 10%, you also start to track how much money is really coming into your life.
Yes.
Yeah. And they go into the, I don't have enough, when they haven't even acknowledged what they already have.
That's right. I know I used to do the same thing that you did, especially when I was a single mom. And it was, okay, we got to take care of everything else over here. But then when it came to me or putting anything away, there was nothing left. Mm-hmm. And then I had to shift. I learned how to shift. Well, no, we have to, let's take care of and I still couldn't look at it. Let's take care of Connie first. I looked at it. Let's put the money away first.
Yeah.
And I did it that way because I was saving for vacation for for me and my kids, or, something special. And then I would take care of the bills. But then I always seem to have money.
This is where the myth happens.
Right.
People think they should never make themselves a priority because that's
right. Mm-hmm.
But the funny part, when you include you, that's when you're in the kingdom of we, and you include everybody else, including the bill. But when you exclude you, you actually made everyone else priority, which then you tell the universe you're not priority either. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's this really funny thing that we were all programmed not to be selfish.
Right. And especially as women.
Exactly.
You don't put yourself first. And again, with me, that probably shifted maybe 8-10 years ago as well.
Yeah.
And that shifted. Well, no. It's me. It's not we. It's not putting it away for the family first. It's we. And then it all shifted. Even through this pandemic, I have clients that were, very fearful and like, okay, I can't pay you. So rather than having them upset or losing them as a client, I just said, you know what? You don't have to pay me until July. Mm-hmm. And I had people crying. I had them already re-signing agreements for next year. Like they couldn't believe. And then, of course, it was like, okay, I don't have those dollars coming in for my monthly. Other dollars came in. So I wasn't worried about it. I really wasn't worried about it. So, it all took care of itself.
But see, I want to just put a disclaimer out there to what you did. Okay. There's a difference in the way you did it. You didn't do it from, now you owe me. Because when people defer from you owe me, the people who actually got deferred have this energy of like even more lack. What you did is you empowered them.
Yes.
And it came from that place of empowerment that they started to see their own value.
Yes.
From that, it activated them and got them interested in, yes, I want to do more for me as well. Mm-hmm. Because that grows. When you're being you, that whole energy just expands. Mm-hmm. And so I always tell people, I even have things that I've done for free. I've done things at reduced, during this time and things. And I have to ask the question, because if I just automatically think if I do it for free, it creates more, it doesn't. So I have to ask, will this create greater? And sometimes when it's free, not that much comes out of it. But if someone actually invests in themselves, there's a whole new world of what they can actually get empowered to create.
And that's why I did it, because I wanted them to empower themselves. I wanted to lift them up, not to be sitting there in a place of fear, but I want them to see to look at their gifts and how they can do something greater for themselves and to use this time for that.
And you empowered you by never going into the lack. So then you had other options of where the money came from. So it's this wonderful world of abundance. We do not live in a world of scarcity, but many people that's where they're going. And that's why I was saying,
where they're going. Mm-hmm.
So I was on a global event and we had 300 people from so many countries representing. And one of them was this person in China, and she works for a very large organization, and she had to lay off 20 people today. And one of her questions was like, I know it's not even required for us to lay people off. And like, she was just like having a really difficult time with herself, having to pick up the phone, call people and say, this is what's going to happen.
Right.
And I've seen that. I've seen where businesses go from like this to just this fear of the unknown and these dramatic decisions, which are not going to create greater. So I say every business has to look and say, okay, where are we? The future's no longer the same as yesterday. So what do we actually require today? And what will we require in the next year and the next 5 years? Because if you're willing to be in the question, you'll have ideas, you'll have awarenesses, you'll have creative things that will pop up for you, but include your employees in the conversation.
Good idea.
You get their awareness, you get their ideas, but you also get them bought in because it's also their idea.
Yes.
You no longer have to now sell it to them and hope that they will also come along. They get to choose, do I want to come along or not? You know? And you will know. But see, that's what I'm just asking. And there's some businesses, you wouldn't even know the difference that this is happening. My ex-husband's business, he is busier now than he's ever been before.
Yes. We are so busy. I guess we've been working 7 days a week. And like I said, this past Saturday, I actually had to take a break. I said, I'm taking these couple of hours for myself. I just need a break. Because we have been so busy. We're working 10-hour days just to keep up. We need to move on. Because this is a 30-minute show, and I think we've extended that.
I think we're both talkers.
I think so. There's just so much that we could be sharing. So, okay, we're going to skip half the program. So let me ask you this. What's next for Laleh? Where do you go from here?
Well, that's such a great question. There's been a business that's been playing with me, and it is desiring to physically actualize. And I think I might start it here in Portugal, where I'm quarantined. So it's called Laleh's Closets, and it's going to have some fun clothes with a partnership with some local designers. And we're already designing little kits for people. And so, so maybe you won't have to travel with all your suitcases on your next trip, Nice. There might be some goodies in there for you as well. So it's been really, I didn't have time before to really give it the nurturing it needed. But lately I have, and I've talked to a bunch of designers and different people assist in making it happen.
Yeah. And that's the gift of what's happening right now. We have time to really do what we've been wanting to do. Absolutely. Myself as well. So let our listeners know where they can find and learn more about your programs.
Awesome. So the easy place is you can go to lalehhancock.com or belapemo.com or globalwellnessforall.com. And we're everywhere on social media, so you can catch us on social media too.
Yeah, we'll be sharing that and all of our information. Well, everyone, thanks for being here. This is Connie Fife. And if you haven't checked us out yet on talentconcierge.co, please do so, because we work with the crazy ones that believe that they can change the world. And you're listening to the Connie Fife Show. And I challenge you to go beyond. And remember, just be kind to everyone out there. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye. Hey, y'all, it's Connie Fife. Thank you for listening to the Connie Fife Show. Check back often. You don't want to miss any of the good stuff. If you like what you hear and would like to be a guest on the show, head over to theconniefifeshow.com to apply. While you're there, check out our amazing advertising opportunities that will put you right in front of your perfect client. I will see you over there. Do yourself a favor this week. Activate your power and be unstoppable together.